What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here on the channel. Make sure to follow us on social at WrestleStar. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Today we are going to be discussing Drew McIntyre, his latest status with the WWE, as Dave Meltzer has a new report that seemingly casts some doubt on Drew McIntyre's status. Now, obviously, as I record this, it is May 5th, 2023, so this is pretty late in terms of the latest news on his status. I don't know if there's going to be much that changes until then. Quick recap. Drew McIntyre, he has not been seen on WWE television since the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus and Gunther at WrestleMania 39 in early April. It was then reported that he and WWE were having some issues in regards to coming to terms on a new WWE contract. The two sides were said to be far apart on money. Drew McIntyre is reportedly upset with said money. He's also reportedly upset with his status within the company. However, his deal does not expire until the end of this year. End of 2023, that's when Drew McIntyre's WWE contract is up. So, why is he not on television right now? Well, it's been reported that he's dealing with some kind of injury. We just don't know what that injury is, which is kind of odd considering that it's been a month now, and no one seems to know what Drew McIntyre's injury is, considering he's one of WWE's biggest stars. He has blacked out his social media account, and he has removed all mentions of WWE, which is a very, very odd thing to do. Now, Drew McIntyre is a guy that is in his second stint with the company. His first stint, he was pushed to the top right out of the gate. He was a chosen one by Vinnie Mac, and then he turned into a jobber, and it was his own design by doing so because, in his own words, he just wasn't mature enough for the push. He got cut, went to the independent scene, worked for various promotions, ICW, as well as Impact Wrestling, transformed himself into a top guy. Okay? Was brought back, found a lot of success in NXT, found a lot of success on the main roster. He became the WWE champion, at WrestleMania. What was it? It was a pandemic year. WrestleMania 36. He beat Brock Lesnar in the main event. Night 2, I believe. And ever since he feuded with Bobby Lashley, ever since he feuded with Roman Reigns, he has fallen down the card. For the majority of 2022, he was on the mid-card, undercard. He was paired with Sheamus, which I know personally they're really good friends, and I'm sure he enjoyed that. But for the most part, he wasn't booked as a top guy. So, where does this all land? Well, Davey Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter today that Drew McIntyre is currently under the belief that he is working his last remaining months with the company and that there's a good chance he'll be walking when his WB contract expires at the end of 2023. No other details were given as to why he believes this, aside from the facts that I had just presented earlier in this video. But for a guy who has been a workhorse for this company, a guy that has done all and any interviews and media that the company has asked him to do, a guy who has worked injured, a guy who has worked sick, a guy who has missed so much time with his family, for him to seemingly be a company guy and have issues with the company and working under the belief that he is gone in 6 months, that is damning. It really is. Obviously, he would be a great talent for any promotion. And obviously, he would be a great talent for an AEW or a New Japan. But as someone who covers the wrestling business, I think he is much more used in a prominent way in WWE than he would be in AEW. I don't know if he would be the mega draw that some could argue that they need. I don't think he'll be a mega draw, and I think he'd actually be booked better in WWE because AEW has so much talent. But we'll see where it goes. I hope he stays with the WWE. I really do. And I hope he gets back to being pushed as a main roster or main event guy. Because when he was booked in a tag team with Sheamus, I thought they were wasting his time. He's a main eventer. Use him as a main eventer.